Absolutely.
Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, guys, and that is the indicators. We're going to go through a couple of options on both the buy side and on the sell side. When it comes to indicators, we'll start things off, though, by saying simply, if you're going to use indicators, guys, make sure you're doing your homework. Make sure you're going back and back testing the idea and coming up with enough data to support the thesis before actually trading real money. Let's get into a couple of ideas here when it comes to both the buy side and sell side, guys, for the best indicators.
All right, quickly, yes, great indications there. I think this is very, very important to sort of discuss. I'm going to discuss like intraday trading. So scalping techniques, things like that to look for when you're trying to scalp a stock and maybe you're trying to find bottoms or tops. So that's the whole idea, is we're trying to find some buy side, sell side indicators, right? Here's a good one for me. Like, check out Ford today. So we know Ford's going to be a strong name. The very first one I'm going to talk about, I know you're going to talk about volume, and that's, you know, what I'm going to indicate right here on this big volume spike. But it's more just the way the candles have been, then followed by volume, and then you also get this wick bottom. So I really felt like this was kind of an all-in-one situation here for Ford. And I'm going to have another example on DraftKings after this. So give me a second here. But a big move down. Look at the flush, right? Then you get a big volume on the red side. So a big volume down, indicating to me that this sell was probably done there on Ford, right? It breaks back down below. Look where the selling indicator comes through, right at some of these jumping off spots, right? So that big sell indicator there, whenever you get a big flush like this, so it's coming down, and then someone basically gave up on their position and sold everything. Whether or not they're long here at 20 or not, but you get this big break here, and the break, it doesn't happen at 20, it's slightly after that, and then, this is my next point that I want to talk about, then you get one of these wicks telling you that, hey, look, we tried to make a bottom. So big seller comes in, followed by this big wick, and then look what happened. Ford took off. Now, we weren't sitting here. I take a break of 20. That's neither near nor there, but that's that big wick there one more time. So volume followed by some of that proceeds to a nice little upside move. We're always looking for what I call there, that wick off bottom. Shout out to Michael Nossoff, Trade Ideas. Another example I had was DraftKings with a very, very similar look here. And this is the 1 minute chart. Again, let's let DraftKings load up here, and there it is. So this is what I wanted to look at for DraftKings. Of course, we're short here. And look, a very, very similar thing happened here on DraftKings. So we go short and it absolutely falls apart. We get out, good trade. But we're talking about indicators here. Here it is right down here. Not only, and if we zoom back, look where this was. Pre-market lows right here and back in here from Friday low, and then you get this wick bottom. So that's what I'm trying to find out for you, is where to find indicators that the selling and or buying may be done. This could happen in both areas. If that was a big wick to the top, you'd have a very similar. It's there right there, but it's smaller. This is one of the largest wicks you'll find out. We have one right there, and we actually bought it as well. A wick down, you know, big selling, wick down bottom. We're sitting there, boom, upside. Same thing here. Big wick to the bottom, into some levels, off of some selling, gives you this pressure back to the upside. So those are a couple indicators that I look for. Those wick bottoms, obviously followed by key levels and a little bit of volume there, Arun.
Yeah, and for me, it's mostly volume. As you can see, on a lot of my charts, there's nothing on there. There's no VWAPs, there's nothing. The reason I do this is because I like to see, at least for one, I like to see how the flow of the chart looks like. So it's just candles. This is the 5 minute candle, by the way. And sometimes what I'll do on the show is I'll zoom it out just so I can get a better layout or perspective of the layout that I'm dealing with. So a lot of the times, this is it, right? And when it comes to volume, you can look at the chart from the candle side of things, and I don't have a volume indicator. Of course, that'll help you as well. For me, though, I like to see where time is being spent, where markets are rejecting prices. So I'll use the candle, but I'm also keeping in mind how the volume is flowing through that area. So I also have something like this, which is your time of sales. So if I'm looking off screen, it's because I'm looking at the flow of volume through certain areas. And this makes a difference. Now, the longer you learn to read something like this, the better you are at reading certain tendencies and whatnot in certain stocks. So I like to keep the time of sales up. I'll look at the chart primarily, and let's go for an example of what I mean by using volume as an indicator without the actual volume indicator. So I'm looking at Friday. This is on Facebook. This was the trade I had earlier today. Facebook, you could see how much time is spent. Usually when there's a lot of time spent in an area and the stock is active, it means there's a lot of volume flowing through that area as well. As you can see, 330 half, 332, 352, 350 through 352. There's a lot of time being spent in the late morning going into the mid session on Friday. So we got to keep an eye on this. How does this market trade through this area? Well, today it got up here and started to really hesitate. We got up to 353, back down to 350, then we tried again, started failing. So as you can see, every time we went up, it kept backing away from that area. That tells me, you know what? The amount of time we spent on Friday, it wasn't just a singular area. This area might be bigger and more volume, might have more volume than before. So let's keep an eye on this. Maybe we can fade it through here. Respect Friday, look at how it's trading today, and as soon as it failed, or it started to look like it wasn't going to be able to carry to the upside with any more buy-side momentum, what do? You come in on the short side, 352 shorts, and here we go, 349 exits, and I've still got the rest actually carrying this trade. And that's how I like to prepare volume through the charts. And then also, as I do that, I'm also keeping an eye on this thing right here, which is the time of sales. And as I talk, LGVN just took out 17 evens.
All right, guys, so when it comes to using actual indicators for signals for both entering and exiting a trade, make sure, again, we're going out and we're doing our homework. We're double checking that our thesis matches up with the actual data that we're going back and seeing in our back testing. There's a little bit of a look at a couple of ideas, guys, for the best buy and sell indicator.